So the people who poke fun at him, later on, some of them tell him how sorry I am. Thanks, the boy said. The boy becomes the spokesperson of the old man. And Shakar had shared about this idea about luck, how the old man is the unluckiest creature on the earth. But later on, he mentions it again. No, I am not lucky. I am not lucky anymore. This is the style of Ernest Hemingway. Repetitions, repetitions, and repetitions. Simple lines repeated. Simple. We at the same time psychologically complex, deeper than the ocean itself. Then the boy says, "The hell with luck." The boy said, "I'll bring the luck with me. You are the sea. You are the old man. I am a boy who wants to learn from you. I'll bring one thing with me, that's the luck. Help. And you will deal with every single problem of the life. But we will fish together," says the boy. "I do not care. I caught two yesterday." The boy is already, learning. "But we will fish together now, for I still have much to learn." Maybe this is the point where we should stop. This a bit of a summary, a bit from the themes, and a bit 2 or 3 symbols: DiMaggio and the lion, and the birds actually are the symbols present there. The old man feels compassion for them when he sees them flying over his head. He knows they too have to cross the sea. They too have to face the falcon in the air. These all things are mentioned, but that's reading between the lines. If you read this, I know a person who read this novella in maybe a year, 1 page every day, then he repeated that page for 3 days. Because Ernest Hemingway is full of gems, as Umad just mentioned a moment ago in my personal WhatsApp chat. He was an old man who fished alone. And you see these Spanish words repeated. Sallow, Eshok, and other words. So you see these great lines there. His eyes, they were the same color as the sea. I told you, the old man is the sea. And were cheerful and undefeated. But see, this Ernest Hemingway, his eyesight had dwindled, but the old man can still see. And it was because of this weak eyesight and this weakness in his personal character, Ernest Hemingway's, that he always tried to prove that he is more courageous. And later on, he shot himself, trying to prove that he can overwhelm. He fought in wars, supported America in wars or other people there, and he was shot in the leg. Whatever he did, life went against him. He was a great writer, slow writer, a perfect writer. He took his time. His short stories are marvelous. If we read his short stories, they are marvelous. And I had to mention Faz Ahmad Faz here, but we'll do that later after questions, inshallah. If you have any questions and answers as well, you may deal with it on your own.
I have a point to make.
Yes,
when we talk about isolation, and when we talk about taking on a voyage or a journey, I read this essay about it that says that wherever man goes, he brings violence and destruction on himself and on others.
Yes.
Can we apply this to this story, to the old man, as he brought destruction to himself and as well to the fish?
Indeed, he did. Indeed, he did. But then that is the natural state of things. If I earlier told you, women folk have been isolated from this novella. You see at this moment, maybe if we have the same, edition. Once there had been a tinted photograph of his wife on the wall, but he had taken it down. He had no kids, and he has taken the photograph down now. Why? Is he a misogynist, woman hater?
There are claims about Ernest Hemingway being a misogynist.
But listen to the man, because it made him too lonely to see it. When you are in the middle of the sea and you feel the boy were here, I wish the boy were here. You are lonely. And his wife, that was that loneliness. Every single day when he looked at the picture, she has left me. She has gone. She has passed away. That absence of her haunts him. It is haunting if you spend a day with a person, then they leave. As it happens to us on Sundays when we sit together, talk, have those cups of coffees and cookies. But then we leave. I miss you people. And if there was a picture of you here, I will burn it down. I'll not just put it, take it down. And it was on the shelf in the corner under his clean shirt. Under his clean shirt. Under his clean shirt. And as Fatima Faz would say, in Hum Dekhenge, that's a poem I would want you people to read once this session is over, and we might be able to discuss that poem too in the next session. That should be 1 hour session, Ahmed, or we should stop doing this right now, like once and for all. So we see this फैज़ अहमद फैज़ लाजिम है कि हम भी देखेंगे वो दिन की जिसका वादा था जो लोहे अज़ल में लिखा था. He continuously goes on. जब जुल्म सितम के कोहे गरां रूई की तरह उड़ जाएंगे. जब जुल्म सितम के कोहे गरां. That is the day the old man encounters with his hard work, with his efficiency. जब हम महकूमों के पांव तले धरती दड़ दड़ धड़केगी. जब अहले हकम के सर ऊपर बिजली कड़कड़ कड़केगी. And then goes on. बस नाम रहेगा अल्लाह का. बस नाम. The sea is permanent. The sea is symbol of permanence. The old man, the fish, they are the symbols of transience of life. So memento mori, remember death. So carpe diem, seize the day. These all ideas are underscored in the text. But then बस नाम रहेगा अल्लाह का और राज करेगी खल्क खुदा जो तुम भी हो और मैं भी हूं. Eventually, the sea will be over. Even the sea will be over, as the Faz says. Zulm sitam ke kohe garan, and we know Allah Jalla wa'ala mentions وَإِذَا الْبِحَارُ سُجِّرَتْ. They'll be burnt, evaporated. Nothing will remain except our Lord. The older man has to perish. Don't worry. The sea will perish sooner. The struggle will be over. If we speak in a metaphorical manner, is it necessary in order to fight the sea, navigate through the society? Where did it go? Okay, it's here. And navigate through the sea, the man has to leave the boy his innocence. Then the boy has to leave the boy. The boy has to leave the boy. And the older man, this was, there is a problem. We have absence of time. The fish is simply one thing that the sea throws at him. But he proves himself. He stands against it. It simply means when you fight against the moment is the moment that you have to defeat, not the fate. The sea goes against you, that's the fate, but the sharks are not the part of the fate. They are simply the obstacles you create for yourself. If he had support and help with him, the sharks wouldn't have been able to do the damage to the marlin. I think we should stop here. If you have any other questions, you should go on with it. But the older man has to abandon the boy for one moment because he has to prove his self-worth, and he does that. And later on, the boy has to forget the boy in order to become the older man, like the older man. If you have anything else.
Yes, we know
Yes, please.
Ernest Hemingway committed suicide to end his life at last. But besides that, he was awarded with Nobel Prize as well. और उनके पास मतलब वो फेम वगैरह का भी बहुत सारा ये चीज़ें थी मतलब इतना कंट्रीब्यूशन होने के बावजूद भी he ended his life like that. Can you please talk about it?
Ernest Hemingway was really sick psychological senses. So in December 1 year, he was given electric shocks for 15 times in 1 month. And he loved his mind, his memories. He didn't want them to be erased from his. You remember the novel One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Saqib, you know about it. It's exactly his life. Lobotomy, that's his life. He had these wounds. If you listen to his Nobel Prize speech, he didn't go to Sweden there at that time to receive it. He talks about it, how he was sick. You listen to him how he talks. You'll feel that pain, that suffering, that allergy to life and the wounds it had inflicted on him. And you're like, maybe if anyone was allowed to commit suicide, that was Ernest Hemingway. And there are similar authors like him. We shouldn't go into that because it would create a problem for us. And suicide is, as we know, impractical, as Albert Camus will say. It's not the part of the equation in the myth of the Sisyphus. Saki would know about it again because he has read probably the myth of Sisyphus. So suicide is not an option. But Ernest Hemingway's life was hell, and his wife, first wife, he wasn't able to continue his life with her. Then he had another one, and she tried to support him, but his life was hell. Outside writing, it wasn't that great. He tried to be an ambulance driver to prove courage. But when you see war, trauma, you are familiar with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and then they have changed its name. Then in those days they called it shell shock. So he was really sick, and to overcome that sickness, it wasn't his first attempt at suicide. It was the first time he succeeded. That's it.
And
So it wasn't his first Marlin at that time. Yes.
there's always this connection between greatness and pain. You have to achieve greatness, you have to bear the unbearable pain as well.
Indeed, you have to. Only the sun can burn so much fuel in a single day, and we get light. It's because of that burning, that pain that the sun goes and suffers every single day. And I have seen it sinking today as well. And one of his novels is The Sun Also Rises, which might remind you about the फराज की रात जब किसी खुर्शीद को शहीद करे सो सुबह एक नया सूरज तराश लाती है. हम देखेंगे, Faiz Ahmad Faz's line, हम देखेंगे is the poem he has written against dictator Ziaul Haq. And there are lines, but there is the problem in this poem, Hum Dekhenge, but it doesn't exist in the text. It exists outside the text. Uthega an al-haq ka nara, jab Allah akela rahega, and he'll say an al-haq, ain al-jabbarun, ain al-mutakabbirun, फिर Allah जल्ला वाला फरमाए an al-haq, तो फैज फरमाते फिर उठेगा an al-haq का नारा. और उर्दू वेब और रेख्ता ने वहां पे लाइन बढ़ाई है, जो तुम भी हो और मैं भी हूं. But in the text, Faz's text, it doesn't exist. And there are people who sometimes become violent. How are you the haq and how am I the haq? And even if it exists in the text, there is a simple explanation. दावा तो आपका भी होता है, मैं ही हक हूं असल में. हक पे हूं और हक हूं. दावा तो मेरा भी होता है, मैं ही हक हूं और हक पे हूं. But Faz says ना, राज करेगी खल के खुदा. ये कुरान राज करेगा फिर. जो तुम भी हो और मैं भी हूं. आप भी हैं खल के खुदा में से, मैं भी हूं खल के खुदा में से. But we live in unity, we live together under the banner of जब अर्ज़ खुदा के काबे से सब बुत उठवाए जाएंगे. जब अर्ज़ खुदा के, listen to these lines are there, they're miracles, they're magic, they're legendary.
Ustad, someone is asking if you could repeat the first line of Faiz's poetry.
हम देखेंगे लाजिम है कि हम भी देखेंगे वो दिन की जिसका वादा था, वो जिसका वादा है जो लोहे अज़ल में लिखा है. Umad, what is the page number? If someone has Faz's book at home, they might be able to read it. It's not page number 1. Go ahead and mention the page number. Search it in the book, of course. चले देखते हैं कौन जीतेगा. चले 656. Yes.
मुझे माइक ही नहीं मिल रही थी, मैं बोलता पहले.
और इसका नाम है वयबका वजहु रब्बिक. वयबका वजहु रब्बिक. और फैज के बारे में मैं ये कहना पसंद करूंगा कि वो एक सलफी और सूफी शायर थे. और ये बड़े शायरों के बारे में कहना मुश्किल होता है. सूफी और उनके ये जो शागिर्द दोस्त है, वो सब इस बात के कायल थे कि इन जिस जैसा खुश मिजाज, उदासी और खुशी के दरमियान बैलेंस एतदाल करने वाला बंदा उनने नहीं देखा. इनके लाइफ में भी डिप्रेशन आई, परेशानियां आई. The only difference is they don't receive these Oscars or Nobel Prizes or Emmy Awards. लेकिन read him, and I believe he might change your life. But before reading him, go through Faraz, because his language is a bit difficult. He is not Ernest Hemingway, simple and complex. He is complex and then simple. If you understand his complexity, you will understand his simplicity. But Faraz, on the other hand, is simple. If you understand his simplicity, you will reach to his complex level. Like the Holy Quran, Kitabun Mubin, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ. But at the same time, once you understand his simplicity, you get it. Oh my goodness, that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about my life, all my life, every single moment, every single choice, every single decision. That is existentialism. I think we should put a stop to this meeting right now. By saying subhanak Allahumma bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. अगर किसी को कोई और बात कहनी है वो कह सकता है और आकर हम माइक देंगे साकिब साहब को ताकि वो मुझे शुक्रिया कहें.
We thank our beloved Ustad, always be there for us, teaching us, guiding us through all our trials, through all our studies. May Allah bless him and all of us to get to know more and more, to get and to teach more and more. So, but Ahmad disappointed us all. He was.
Is the bad sheep. यहाँ पे मैं 2 lines पहले निकलने से पहले मुझे बहुत सारी lines quotations कहनी थी. He is working, work as little as you can. He is working, work as little as you can, because when the ball is in his court, be patient. When the ball comes to your court, it's your turn. ये एक quotation है. He is working, work as little as you can. Like Khabib Nagazumi. You listen, watch his fights, you understand the point. Man is not much beside the great birds and beasts. How can this person be a misogynist? Man is not much beside the great birds and beasts. Maybe in his life, but not in his texts. If sharks come, God pity him and me. The sharks do come. That's it. Have a nice day. Fi aman Allah. The Isha is here. So I should take leave now. Musi? Fi aman Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. शाकिर भाई कोई और मत कहना था हमें कोई और चीज फंड रेज मत करना है आपकी इस चैनल के लिए
ना ना जो नेक्स्ट किताब होगी इंशाल्लाह फरवरी के महीने के लिए वो आप अभी बोलेंगे या नेक्स्ट टाइम फिर हम
yeah right now we should mention Chinua Achebe. I'll show you the text. Where is it? This is Gita and this is Chinua Achebe. Now without the Chinua Achebe's, things fall apart. He's a Nigerian author. He is the old man. Another old man, and his name is Okonko. You're going to love him. If you are into literature, you'll love him, you'll read him, and you might find it boring at moments, but then Chinua Achebe is a master in literature. Read him and then teach us about him. We want to learn from you people. Have a marvelous life ahead of you, especially in the month if you're joining the next month. Fi amanillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Barakallah.